best thing about going away is coming back.
Yes. Especially to Eretz.
You know what? I can take a picture.
It's okay. I've got another one at home. I just forgot to bring it here. Okay. So.
Where were you? Which part? Where were you? Which?
Went to Newark, sister Jerry Pell, flew from Philadelphia to Cleveland, Miriam's family in Cleveland, my cousin in Cleveland, then flew to Chicago, drove to Milwaukee, with my granddaughter's bat mitzvah, stayed for Shabbos, then got to Chicago, flew to San Jose, and drove to Petaluma, California, to visit my sister, and then flew from San Jose to Los Angeles to catch the El Al back to Tel
You
Aviv.
didn't rest. You didn't rest, in other words.
Correct.
Very active. So let me just update you. So we're talking about the beginning of the parsha, the Devarim. And at the beginning we have tochacha, like a rebuke,
Yep.
but subtle rebukes. Just by talking about different places. And the Alshech says that why did Moshe skip out certain places, like for example the place where the spies, or this place that Moshe hit the rock, and so he said that these other places were places where Moshe needed to take some responsibility, so he can't rebuke the people for something that he did.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the other point is that he was testing the waters to see how they would react to the rebuke. If they react favorably, in other words, with an open heart to receive it, then he'll continue giving it more openly. But if they didn't, then he would just back off. So that's what we got up to. So now we're just at this point here. If you want to read the titles.
Lo, Azachir, Komot, Shemotam, Miskrat, Ovan.
He didn't remind them of the places that they had.
They're reminding Mascaret of
sin.
Iniquity.
Uviglau Hadavar Hazeh,
And because of this thing,
Pas Shelo Lehazkir Ba Pasuk Hazeh, Harishon, Masa Riva V'Tav'era V'Kivrot Hata'ava.
so why didn't he mention these certain places at the beginning of his Torah?
Ki halo befetach devarav hit nakel levilti hokikam beferush.
Because he did not start his words.
Didn't care, like pretended.
Pretending
Yeah.
without thinking.
Not to guilty, right? Hitnakel, the guilty of Hilcham. Not to rebuke them beferush, like you said, straightforward, right? To explicitly, beferush. Right? He didn't do that. He kind of beat around the bush, so to speak.
Ki da'ak en yitchametz levavam.
Because he was worried whether they would get angry or get offended in their hearts.
Ki in b'derech remez.
That's why he did it in code form.
Ve'al Kain Amar Belibo.
And therefore he said to himself,
In Azkir Lahem Masa Riva V'Tav'era V'Kirot Hata'ava.
and if I reminded them of those places,
Ein Tochachat Megula Gedola Mizo
there's no bigger rebuke than this.
Ki V'Hazkir Shmotam Mitgala Ra'atam V'Yizkur Avonam.
Because when I remind them of their sin, they will remember their terrible actions.
Ach Oto Ki Kiblu Tochato Be'ein Machlim.
Therefore, when he saw that they accepted his rebuke and did not machlim, rebel,
Yeah, like turn away. That they, the is like to sort of to prevent it, to stop, right? So they didn't turn away. They didn't object.
Az Diber Vayikra B'Kol Gadol Et Kol Ma'aseh Hara'ah Be'er Heitev.
then he continued to say all the other bad things they did,
Lama'an Hachnia Et Libam
to return their hearts.
Something like that to bend it down, to contain it, so they feel down, to lower their heart.
Uviklalam Et Shmot Mazkeret Avonam Masa Riva.
And that's why he then added at a later stage the more damaging sins. These places, can we just remind ourselves what happened
Right.
in these places?
So we have, which one? So we have, first of all, we have Kivrot Ta'ava, right? And
Let's do it in the order that he's got it there.
Yeah.
Where does he put it?
Masav Meriba.
Meriba, where's that?
That's when Moshe hit the rock.
That's Moshe in
Right.
the rock. B'tava.
Tavera, that's where the fire, they were complaining, right? And the fire hit.
That's where they had the meat, right?
They were complaining about man. The meat is the next one, Kivrot HaTa'ava. That's where they had the Ta'ava.
So what was that? B'tara?
Tavera, they started complaining that the man, I think it's about the man.
Was that at the beginning when they left?
Pretty
before
much
at around
beginning,
Amalek? Around the time of Amalek?
Could be a little bit. No, I think Amalek was right after the crossing the
Yeah.
Yam Suf, before Kabbalah Torah. But this after Kabbalah Torah, and they start complaining there. Look in
I was just wondering. Okay.
Kivrot Tavera, that was right there when he sent them the birds and the slav, and then he gave them So they had all these tires and they were complaining. So there was a fire hit them. But the main point there is that Rav Alshech said that Moshe Rabbeinu was not involved in it, and also the Israel was not involved with it. It was mostly Erev Rav who was involved in it. But maybe,
Which pasuk is those?
okay,
Does he actually
Right.
bring those last?
So here he's bringing out, let's see what section he's bringing.
You can't actually see those.
Here, if you go to the Amud Gimel, to the page Gimel, right? So he mentions here, Masav Miriba,
Wait, pasuk is that?
Vetavera, Vekivrot Tava. He's saying here, look in the Bamidbar. Go into Bamidbar.
Midbar.
Yeah.
But we're in Devarim.
He's mentioning it. You want to see the source, or you want to see where? Right. So all of these things happened by Midbar.
Yeah.
Shmot Yud Zayin.
Shemot is
Oh, wait. No, it can't be Shmot. Maybe it is. Yeah, Shmot actually. Yud Zayin, Posuk Vav.
Yud Zayin is 17.
Yeah. 6 or 7. ויקרא שם המקום מסע ומריבה.
No.
No.
Not sorry, Shemot is Shemot 17. 17 what? Pasuk 6 and 7. Yeah, it's Amalek.
זה
Yeah, it's Amalek. Maaseh Meribah.
מסע ומריבה, it's עמלק?
Yeah, this
Okay.
is before Amalek.
Okay.
But I thought the Alshech was saying that he only introduced Maaseh Meribah after he tested the waters, but I can't see it in the actual text of Devarim.
Well, then we have to get back into the questions. All right. Here he's saying here, Tavera v'Masan v'Meriba.
Where are those pasuk? Where does it say so that he added those pasukim at the end? Where is those pasuk?
Where he added it, or where is it in our?
Where is it in the Chumash that he added it?
In his Tochocha, that's in this week's parish.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm just saying I can't see it.
You have this week's parish, okay?
Yeah.
Can I see it? Right. So here it starts listing here, right? Here, you see, it says here, בעבר הירדן, בערבה מול סוף, בין פרן, בין תופר ולבן, בחצרות ודי זהב, right? So this is where it's kind of still coded.
Testing, yeah.
Right, testing.
You see, I can't see where he's
Right,
bringing
I
it.
am trying to locate it just a moment. So here he's talking about Miraglim. It's kind of spread all over the parasha. It's not in one place.
It's not.
No. Here he starts talking about the Miraglim.
Yeah.
Right in today's day. It's spread all over the, basically the different parashas. Yeah, so we can't really locate it all at once.
Okay.
But the idea is that in the beginning of the parsha, he makes it kind of concealed and he doesn't really reveal it, and then gradually going through the parsha Devarim, he brings one after the other, all these events.
Okay, let's carry on.
והתחיל בתוכחה שאין עלי התשובה. Teshuvah.
So he starts with the rebuke that there isn't, on which there is no teshuvah, or that they did not do teshuvah.
I'm sorry, I don't know where.
HK.
What's the
Yeah,
title? This one? והתחכם, right? ואמריו לבלתי הכיל בדבר לא ידע. That's the one?
Title.
Yeah, but the title.
להתחיל בתוכחה שאין עליה תשובה. He started with the tachocha which does not have or answer or tshuva. Let's see.
ויתקן במאמריו לבלתי התחיל בדבר לא יסכון להכניעם.
He started with words that lo yiskon.
להכניעם. That there is no danger there. לא יסכון להכניעם. אם יהיה התוכחה דבר שתשובתם בצדם. So he started with something, with the tochacha, with rebuke, that he's not putting himself in danger, that to force them, להכניעם, אם יהיה התוכחה דבר שתשובתם בצדם. If there is going to be such a rebuke that they can answer on it right away, that they have already, so to speak, that they have excuse for that. Something that they could not easily, say that, this is why it happened, and like we're not guilty, right?
So what help us with the words? So,
right.
Lo yiskol.
Lo iskon lehachniam. He is not jeopardizing them himself.
Iskon is jeopardizing?
Right, in other words, it's easy, it would be easy for him to subject them, leachniam, to put them down.
אם יהיה התוכחת דבר שתשובתם בצדם.
If it was something that they had an excuse for.
Ready answer for it, right.
למעט והביל אשמתם.
Oh, wait, it's a difficult passage here. Lema'et, to reduce והכביל אשמתם. Difficult sentence. Let's look in the note, maybe he'll explain.
Yeah.
Let's look in the note.
Two notes, the Samach Dalet and Samach Hey.
Very difficult.
Samach Dalet is Shelo Lihitchil Betokha Shelo
To'il lichachni'am. He tried to start with the rebuke, which is not Shelo To'il. He tried to rebuke them in such a way that his tochocha will be helpful. In other words, that it's not gonna go to waste. Shelo to'il lehachni'am. To'il is to help. Right, right. So that's why Shelo he didn't start with the tochocha, which is not going to be helpful.
I see.
That he's not going to be able to give them tochocha if it's going to be too difficult.
I see.
So he started something like rather easy that they don't have like ready answers to say, it's not my fault. He did it. Something. So he started in such a way where they couldn't just reject it or brush it off or blame somebody else for it.
Samechei, im
אם התוכחה תהיה על חטא שיוכלו לחשיב ולהקטין את אשמתם בו.
Wow. Right? So what did he do? So if he was going to give them tochacha in such a way, im hatochacha tiyeh, that it will be al chet, for such a chet, for such a avera, sheyachlu lehashiv, that they can just like brush it away, answer, right? Velehachtin, and to reduce et ashmatam, their guilt, through that. Right? Two kids are fighting, right, for example. So you don't say, why did you hit him? So the other kid is going to say, because he hit me. Right? So he didn't want to say something like that they can easily brush off.
Kilo.
כי לא יעשה רושם בלבבם, גם כי ישמעו אחרי כן דבר מר אשר עשו, אחרי כי רבתה התחלת שמיעתם.
No, Shlomo, go on.
He did not.
כי לא יעשה רושם בלבבם, right? It's not going to leave any impression, any record in their hearts, right? Any impression on their hearts.
It's not going to sink in.
Not going to sink in, right? In a contemporary
also, כי ישמעו, when they heard, after this, דבר מר, bitter things, אשר עשו, that they did, אחרי כי
רפתה התחלת שמיעתם. Even though later, right, so it's not going to make roshem on them, not going to impress them, right? Even if later on they hear something which really was terrible that they did, but since from the beginning they already kind of brushed it off, so now it's going to be easy for them to just brush off the whole thing. Note.
התוכחה כלר לא תכניע אותם כראוי.
The tochacha won't affect them.
Right.
גם אם ישמעו אחר כך תוכחה קשה יותר.
Also, if they heard some rebuke even harder afterwards,
right.
על חטא, על התוכחה
חטא גדול
יותר שאין להם תשובה עליו.
If on a rebuke that they have no response to,
מאחר שהיה בידם תשובה על התוכחה הראשונה ששמעו מהמופיע.
compared to a rebuke that they had an answer to,
the first one, Shamu, that they heard, Mihamachia, or the rebuker. Right, rebuker or rebuker, right. So he's kind of like, he's making it kind of very, I don't know, I think it's a little bit too, he's talking about the same thing, a little bit too much, I don't know why. But the idea is that if you give somebody a rebuke, and right away they can dismiss it, so then they dismiss the whole thing.
Right.
So it's sort of like with the Arabs, right? The Jews stole our land, so now that's it, No, you can't argue anymore, you can't tell them anything. They stole our land.
So you should only give rebuke if it's going to do some good.
Right, if it's going to register.
Al Kain Amar Libo. Im Amor Omar Lahem Rishona Asher Himru Al Yam Biyam Suf.
If he said to them at the beginning, there's the Yam Suf
Right.
era.
Incident, right, when they rebelled at the Yam Suf, right?
Hello Lakash Yechashvu Hatchalat Musarai Be'emet.
They hello Lakash.
Kash is like hay. It's going to be like very light. They're going to take it very lightly. Hatchalat Musar and Kabalah. This whole Tachocha, if he would start with the Yam Suf, I imagine, without reading it, right, they probably would say, listen, what do you want? I mean, the Egyptians were chasing after us, we were in front of the sea, so of course we started complaining. So everything else is just like going to be, also not going to be, right? It's not a good way to start if you start with Yam Suf, like with the hardest situation that Jews faced.
That they had a reason.
Yeah, they right? Anybody would feel, scared and, helpless and start complaining and crying, right? It's understandable.
More. Hello Az Adayan Lo Hitaharnu Me'avod Avodah Zara
Actually, he's finding much better answer. I mean, yeah.
Asher Ishtakanu Ba.
Right.
So
What would they say, right? More, they will answer. If you give them rebuke about that Red Sea that they complain, so what they're going to say? Hello, us. When are we then? Yeah.
עדיין לא
Hitaharnu. We were not yet purified.
From the Avodah Zarah that we did.
Right, we were still Egyptians basically, so what do you expect from us, right? It just was too early in the game,
Give me a break.
Yeah, we were not yet such a big tzaddikim, we didn't receive Torah, we didn't learn Torah, right? So,
What is his
Hishtakanu ba, that we were submerged in it, like we were like rooted in the Avodah Zarah of Mitzrayim, so we were still those, on a low level,
That's
Don't
a good
blame us.
argument.
It's a good argument, yeah. So that's why he didn't start from that.
Velo.
Below Kaninu Yehidut Kimat.
There's no way he says Yehidut, it should be Yehadut maybe.
And we didn't acquire
I think it's Yehadut.
Jewish
Judaism, Jewishness, right? Almost none, right?
V'lo yipalei ma she'haita yirat Hashem bilti tukua b'kirbeinu.
And it's no wonder
Right.
that we didn't.
Masha Hayita, that the
What
Yirat
happened?
Hashem, no, that Yirat Hashem was built to Kuaba Kirbein. It wasn't yet, so to
Not
speak,
yet,
stuck into
stuck
us,
into
right?
us.
It wasn't amongst us, wasn't yet.
Al derech ma'amaram zichrono livracha b'midrash chazit kasher amar lahem Moshe.
When Moshe said to them in the Midbar Chazit,
Oh,
In the Medrash Chassid,
in the
right?
Midrash Chazit,
Hachodesh hazeh atem nigalim amru Yisrael.
this month you will be
Redeemed, right.
redeemed. Israel said.
Adayin kol Mitzrayim Meleah me'avodah Sarah Shalanu.
The Mitzrayim is still full of the worshipping that we did.
Of our Avodah Zorah that we created, right? The Jews in Mitzrayim, they were worshiping Avodah Zorah. So he says, you're telling us we're going now Geula, but we're still like, have all these Avodah Zorahs around us.
V'heyach anu
We're still
mi
voting
alim.
for Democratic Party, you know.
Ve'ach anu nig'alim. We're not yet.
How are we going to be redeemed, right? Ech anu nigalim.
Al kain lo hechel mi mol suf.
So that's why he did not start with the.
Mimul suf, right? That's pasuk. It says mul suf, but that's mentioned later. He didn't start with that.
It's at the beginning.
It's in the beginning.
Well, he says.
What's the first?
What was it? Mulsuf is at the beginning.
Yeah, but what's before that? There must be something before that.
Then the Midbars,
Bamidbar, Barava, and then mul suf.
and then Mulsuf.
Right. So mul suf is like only the third, number
one.
third, right?
Rak me hasheni shahu bamidbar.
After the second thing, there is the Midbar.
Right.
Al amram mi itain musenu biyad Hashem b'shivtenu v'kulu.
Who will
Give, so
Who
to
will
speak,
give
our
our
death.
death
Yeah.
in the hand of
Hashem.
the
That's and he gives here the post of Tet Zayin Gimel B'Shmot. So that's their complaint there. So you know about that.
Asher haya acharei kiryat Yamsuf.
which was after the incident of
Right. So
Yamsuf.
it's not in order.
Not
You
in
know,
order, yeah.
chronologically, it's not in order.
Ki'az,
Ki az kvar kanu Yehudut bil vavam.
because then we already acquired some kind of Judaism in their heart.
Va'ya'aminu b'Hashem.
They believed in God.
Ki afilu rachav va'yitro shahayu goyim.
Even though there were many non-Jews.
Well,
with them.
he's mentioning Rachav and Vayitro. Rachav was who? Was the lady that the spies came to her, right?
Yeah,
That she was in
Innkeeper
Yericho,
of
in
Jericho.
Yericho, right? The lady, and Yitro was Moshe's father-in-law, right? We know. So even they already accepted, Yahudut. So
Nit gairu al.
I didn't understand the point.
right? No, he's just saying that when he mentions this incident first, which happened already after splitting of the Red Sea. So after splitting of the Red Sea, already everybody got Yahudut. Even people like Rahav and Yitro,
I see.
even they already understood
Understood,
right what's happening. So the Jews already also were on a much higher level than before splitting of the Red Sea.
Nit gairu al yedei nes kriyat Yamsuf.
They were all converted on the miracle of Yamsuf,
Umagam am b'nei Israel.
and also the children of Israel,
Shetitchazek emunatam emunat omen.
they believed that
Hitchazek, it was strengthened
Strengthened.
already.
their
Emunah, right, of Hashem, of Omen, the Creator.
Zehu bamidbar.
But that's Bamidbar. So that comes before. It's mentioned before the
Yamsuf.
Yamsuf. Should we do any notes? Skip
Okay.
it?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's pretty clear here.
It's pretty clear. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so let's do the next
carry
one.
on.
Let's do one more.
But
But Arava. So now we're talking about Arava.
Harava hatu af shahayu bero kol.
in the desert,
Actually, it's Arava. It's Aravot Moav. It's not Bamidbar, it's Arava. It's a separate place.
in the
Wilderness of Arava.
in the wilderness of Arama, even
Chatu, they sinned. Af, even though, right? Shehayu berov kol, even they had everything. That already was the last stop before going into Eretz Israel, right? And where Jewish people had already abundance of gold and silver, and they already, after 40 years, They had already everything, the Mishkan and everything. And what happened? Arava, there was, I think, not Moab. That's where they started the whole thing. So that's now. They couldn't excuse themselves right now that we didn't know, we didn't have. Now they had everything. They knew everything.
ומפני שהיה להן פתחון פה עדיין בצד מה?
Even though, because they had the pichon pen,
From their patur, like they still could open their mouth. They could, open
they
their
had
mouth.
something to answer.
Excuse. They had some kind of excuse. Yeah, they had an answer. They could still answer, right? Adain betzad ma, a little bit betzad ma.
להקל מן אשמתם על אמרם מי ייתן מותנו וכולו.
When they said who will give us death,
Right.
etc.
They could still answer, right? Ma, more.
לאמור כי אין אדם נספס על צער חסרון לכם.
There's no man
Who can be, so to speak, blamed, right? Nitpas, to be caught, right? Like to blame. Al tsar, because of the suffering of the tsar. Hisron lechem, they didn't have bread. So they wanted like real bread. They already couldn't look at the man anymore after 40 years eating man. I think that's what you're talking about.
right.
ואז קלטה פרוסת בצאת מצרים.
And then
No, actually, I don't know what's going on here.
they took only a little bit of bread when they left Mitzrayim.
Ria, but this is Arava is later, no? Okay, so
Let's finish the sentence and see.
ולא היה לחם לחם.
And they didn't have any bread.
that was
That's when
after
we took-
leaving Mitzrayim.
That's when we were leaving Mitzrayim.
Right, so let's see,
Okay.
okay, Alken, yeah.
על כן שמח לזה מיד בערבה על עוון השיטים.
Oh, Alken Samach, that's why he joined, he put this, the Arava, right? Right next to Arava, he put the Avon Shittim. In the Shittim, that's where they got involved with daughters of Moab.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue.
כי אז שמנו אשתו
Ashtu
ברוב כל. כי היו בעיר מושב.
Oh, right.
Moshav, yeah, Moshav.
So, right, because now, okay, so he's putting it right next to after they left Mitzrayim, they complained that they didn't have bread, because all the door from Egypt ended. So Hashem gave them manna. Now, so right next to it, he puts the guilt of Shittim, where you had everything, and still you did sin.
So it's not. So don't tell me it's not
Right,
about
so
bread.
Right, so bread is not excuse, that,
Yeah,
right.
ומלאים כל טוב
They were full, kol tuv, of all the goodness.
מביזת ארצות סיחון ואוג, ולא נמנעו מלאכתו.
You had all the goodness after,
from
right,
the spoils
of all the wars that you
victories
right.
of Zichon and Og,
Right.
and you did not stop.
Nimneu melechato. You didn't stop from doing avera chas v'shalom. So, wow. All right, the rest is history, like we say.
Very good.
All right.
It's good to have you back, Reuven.
Yeah,
Good to be
for
back.
sure.
If only my luggage would catch up to me.
But
You missed your luggage?
Missing one piece of luggage.
really,
Hey,
I'll tell you a
We
joke.
checked 4, we got 3.
I'll tell you a joke
That's a
about
good deal.
Rabbi Herschel Schechter. I once heard one of his lectures. He was saying a joke, one Chassid stands in line to check in his luggage in the airport, and he says, "This suitcase I want to go to Australia, Melbourne, Australia. This suitcase I want to go to Buenos Aires, Argentina. That shuttle box I want to go to New York."